After Sierra Tate became an A-list celebrity, she started acting like a diva, clapping back at fans, and getting cozy with her male co-star. I was her secret boyfriend and her manager, yet I overheard her telling someone Caleb Stone should be thanking his lucky stars he found me. If it weren't for me, he'd still be a nobody rotting away on some factory assembly line. She had forgotten how I drank myself into ulcers just to secure roles for her, forgotten her vows to love me forever. It didn't matter. If an artist won't listen, you just replace them. I was in the middle of negotiating Sierra's new show with director Vance when my assistant, Chloe, called me. Caleb, there's a situation with Sierra. She's trending on Twitter, and it's bad. Taking a break, I quickly checked my phone. My mind went blank as I scrolled through the trending topics. Sierra couldn't control her temper and had personally replied to fans again. It started because fans felt the styling for her new drama was too cheap and didn't match the heavy promotion. They were demanding an explanation from the production team. Sierra lost it at the comments. You people have nothing better to do than nitpick? I chose the styling team myself, and I think it looks beautiful. As if that wasn't enough, she added a follow-up tweet. Stop guessing. I wrote this myself. Go to bed, everyone. These two tweets successfully ignited the fury of her fanbase. One of the admins of her biggest fan Discord server posted a long essay announcing they were unstanding and shutting down several fan pages. I sighed and called Chloe back. Contact the platforms, try to bury the hashtag, and get the PR team to draft a crisis plan. Chloe said the PR team was ready to execute the plan, but Sierra found out. She forbade the PR team from apologizing or compromising. No amount of coaxing worked, and now it was a standoff. I looked up and sighed. I'll head over there as soon as I'm done here. Sierra had become the hottest actress in Hollywood thanks to 2 hit series. After winning the Emmy for Best Actress, she became an A-lister at just 25. But as her star rose, we drifted apart. Her temper grew worse. She ignored my calls whenever she felt like it, took roles without consulting me, and funneled commercial deals through her own private LLC. We were supposed to be in a secret relationship, strictly to protect her image, but I wasn't stupid. I could feel her distancing herself. Despite this, the moment I finished my meeting, I drove straight to the studio lot to find her. Chloe looked relieved when she saw me, immediately leading me towards Sierra's luxury trailer. Caleb, I'm so glad you're here. Sierra listens to you the most. I gave a bitter smile. As we neared the trailer, Chloe's phone rang, and she stepped aside to take it. I was about to open the door when I heard voices inside. I heard your manager has only ever represented you. His experience is a bit thin, isn't it? It was a man's voice. Then came Sierra's melodious laughter. Caleb Stone got lucky finding me. If it weren't for me, he'd just be some blue-collar worker. The man laughed. That is lucky. Managing just one artist, and she turns out to be a superstar. I felt a chill run down my spine. In the industry, I was known as a golden agent, but I'd heard plenty of people sourly claim I just got lucky riding Sierra's coattails. I usually ignored it because only Sierra and I knew the hardships we'd endured together. Back when I was just trying to break into the entertainment industry, Sierra had been in Hollywood for 2 years with only 2 minor extra roles to show for it. To save money, we lived in a cramped basement apartment. I drank with producers until I was hospitalized just to get her an audition. She hung on wires for hours to nail a scene. I truly never expected Sierra to talk about me like that behind my back. I yanked the trailer door open. The 2 people inside looked at me in shock. The man was the show's lead, Jax Ryder, a newly minted heartthrob who had blown up overnight. Sierra looked annoyed, frowning as she shouted, "What are you doing? Don't you know how to knock?" Jax looked a bit nervous and quickly stood up. "Caleb, you guys talk. I'll head out first." He opened the door and hurried away. Sierra scrolled through her phone, ignoring me completely. Chloe told me about the mess you made with the fans. We need to follow the PR plan, bury the trending topic, and stop the bleeding, I said, trying to keep my voice steady. She leaned back in her makeup chair, unbothered. Why is me messing up? Was I wrong? They dictate my life every day, and now they're gang-pressing the production crew for answers? They think they're so important. I got to where I am today because of myself, not because of these fans. I suppressed my anger. You need to protect your reputation. This does you no good. If fans have valid suggestions, we should consider them. Honestly, the styling for this show is lackluster. Sierra's expression darkened, and she let out a cold laugh. You're just unhappy because I took this role myself, aren't you? Now you're picking on the styling too. Besides, with my status, why should I be held hostage by fans? So what if I'm trending? It just gives the new show more exposure. Sierra had indeed taken this role against my advice. The production quality was low, but she insisted, especially when she heard Jax Ryder was the lead. She signed a contract directly through her personal studio. Thinking of this, my anger flared. Fans holding you hostage? When the fans demanded the agency set up your personal studio, you were so obedient, saying we had to listen to the fans' advice. Now that they have opinions on your hair and makeup, suddenly it's blackmail. Back then, fans petitioned en masse for Sierra to have her own independent imprint. Faced with Sierra's tearful, pleading face, I had agreed. That meant Sierra could do whatever she wanted. Because of our relationship, my agency didn't even have a binding contract with her anymore. Shouldn't I have my own studio? Was I supposed to be your cash cow forever? She snapped. Caleb, stop trying to control me. Without me, you wouldn't be who you are today. Her words were like a bucket of ice water dumped over my head. The struggle I thought we shared, the sacrifices I made for her. In her eyes, it was just me using her as a meal ticket, just me getting lucky. Just then, Sierra's phone rang. I saw the contact name, Quentin Wells, a highly reputable, albeit cutthroat, agent in the industry. Sierra saw my expression, but answered anyway. Hey, Quentin. After a brief exchange, she hung up. Quentin wants me to join his agency, Kingmaker Media, as a partner. She looked triumphant. When I didn't respond, she added arrogantly, I haven't agreed yet. I looked at her, momentarily speechless. Since she opened her personal studio, she had been planning to leave me. What did haven't agreed yet mean? That the deal wasn't sweet enough? Or that she wanted me to concede even more profits to her? Then you should consider it carefully. I turned and walked out. I bumped into Chloe at the door. Seeing her questioning look, I said flatly, let her be. Don't pull the trending topics down. If she thinks it's good publicity, then let it burn. I immediately contacted Kingmaker Media. Quentin and I had some history. I'd thrown him a bone with resources in the past, so he was polite enough. Caleb, don't blame me for poaching, Quentin said. Sierra told me she was ending her partnership with you. She said her management contract is with her studio now and told me not to contact you. She reached out to me, actually. She's so hot right now. I was excited, so I offered her a partnership deal and promised some high-end luxury brand endorsements. So, Sierra contacted him first. I laughed. She wanted a studio. I yielded. She wanted to pick her own roles. I yielded. Now, she was switching agents without a word. What was I to her? I was naive to think her personal studio was just a vanity title. She had calculated this escape long ago. She was discarding me like a used napkin. For several days, Sierra didn't contact me, and I didn't contact her. It was time to plan my next move. One day, just as I arrived at the gym, I got a call from Sierra. Caleb, I'm being attacked. You have to come quick, she cried, her voice trembling. My heart hammered. Without thinking, I rushed out wearing my gym tank top. I tried calling Chloe on the way, but couldn't get through, which only made me panic more. When I arrived at the location she sent, a private event room, I kicked the door open and charged in. Sierra, where are you? I was immediately blasted in the face with silly string and confetti. A group of production crew members swarmed around, cheering. Sierra wins. I saw Sierra standing in the middle of the room, unharmed and grinning. What is this? Deteriorating. Jack's rider walked over, beaming. It's like this, Caleb. The crew threw a birthday party for me today. We played truth or dare. Sierra and I had a bet, and this time Sierra won. You're so good to her, rushing over so fast. But you didn't know. I taught Sierra some serious self-defense moves personally. No one would dare hit her. I didn't speak. I just looked at Sierra, who acted like nothing was wrong. Under my burning gaze, she finally muttered, You're not actually mad, right? She looked me up and down, making a face of distaste. And what are you wearing? It's embarrassing. I had been changing in a locker room when she called, so I was in a tank top and shorts, wearing only one slide sandal because the other had fallen off when I ran. I was covered in colorful ribbons and fake snow, looking both disheveled and ridiculous, like a clown. It was already autumn outside, and the cold air finally hit my exposed skin. Meeting Sierra's look of disgust, I felt my heart turn to ice. I turned to leave, ignoring the calls for me to stay. Chloe chased after me. Okay, love, I'm sorry. Sierra told me not to answer your calls. I waved my hand. Go back inside. I just wanted to get to my car. In my panic, I hadn't realized how far I'd parked from the entrance. I walked fast, head down, ignoring the strange looks from passersby. Just as I reached the gate, someone called out, Mr. Stone, wait a second. I looked back. It was a girl who had a minor guest role in the show. Her name was Lily Harper, a struggling actress on the fringe of the industry. With my agent's eye, I had noticed her immediately the first time I saw her. Her face was incredibly distinct, striking eyes, very photogenic, but she was signed to a small agency that couldn't get her any decent roles. Lily Harper. Her eyes lit up. Mr. Stone, you actually know who I am. I didn't confirm or deny. She handed me several shopping bags. I bought these clothes and shoes for my brother. I was going to mail them today. Please, don't be offended, just put them on. It's freezing out here. Seeing my hesitation, she smiled brightly. My brother is about your height. They'll fit. They aren't designer brands, so please don't mind. I took them and thanked her, pulling out my phone. Thanks. Let me add you, so I can Venmo you the cost. Lily wasn't the type to play coy. She immediately pulled out her phone and let me scan her QR code. As I drove back, Sierra called. Can't you take a joke? You just left like that. Where does that put me in front of everyone? I took a deep breath. Sierra, what exactly do you think our relationship is right now? She stammered. We are what we are? Why ask that? Are we agent and artist, or boyfriend and girlfriend? Regardless of the label, your attitude toward me is terrible. What? Sierra was silent for a moment, then said, let's just be friends for now. I just want to focus on my career. I don't want feelings taking up too much of my time. I laughed. She once swore she'd love me forever. We had shared hardships and dreamed of retiring before 35. Now, our relationship was reduced to friends. I understand. Then let's end it here. I'll have my lawyer draft the separation agreement for our business ties as soon as possible. I sensed Sierra was surprised by my calmness. Don't you regret it? I've never wanted anything more. She hung up. I felt a massive weight lift off my shoulders, followed by a chill. Not surprisingly, I caught a cold. People are fragile when they're sick, and I inevitably thought about the past with Sierra. Her round face, big eyes, a look that instantly made people like her. I remembered the first time I met her. I was holding the rights to a few obscure novels I'd bought, knocking on the doors of production companies when I met Sierra, who was working as an extra. I told her, your eyes are big, and your smile is incredibly sweet. You're perfect for romantic dramas. She said she had no agent, no company, and could only play maids or background characters. I told her I could be her manager. We fought our way up together. Later, I traded the rights to one of those novels to get her a significant supporting role. Sierra thought she made it on her own and that I was riding her coattails. In reality, my eye for scripts is lethal. Sierra became famous because of the roles I picked for her. She was made by me. If that was the case, why couldn't I make someone else a star? I had resources now. It would be much easier than before. I had my company post a casting call for new talent. There was no shortage of applicants, plenty of people dreaming of fame. Plus, it was a well-known agent. I interviewed every candidate personally. I was picky, quality over quantity. After interviewing one artist, I saw over a dozen missed calls on my phone, all from Sierra. Her voice was laced with anger when I finally picked up. You're recruiting new people? I found it funny. Wasn't that obvious? If I didn't find new talent, how would I continue working? Over the past few days, I had lawyers split my assets from Sierra's. The lawyer mentioned that every time he went to Sierra for a signature, she was fuming, acting as if she were being ripped off. She wasn't losing anything. If she were, she wouldn't have signed. I didn't get it. I hadn't shortchanged her, and she was the one who wanted to split. Where's this anger coming from? Sierra added. You think newbies are easy to manage? Caleb, you need to understand there won't be a second Sierra Tate. Luck doesn't strike twice. I laughed. Didn't you tell everyone I only found you because I got lucky? Well, I just feel like testing my luck again. I could feel her rage through the phone. Keep dreaming. She hung up. I ignored it and went back to interviews. The next day, Chloe actually showed up at my office. Caleb, Sierra actually really misses you. She hasn't signed with Kingmaker yet. She's waiting for you to apologize and coax her back. I spoke indifferently. Who she signs with has nothing to do with me anymore. She found that next branch herself. If she regrets it now, she shouldn't blame me. Chloe hesitated, then spoke carefully. About the collaboration you were discussing with Director Vance. The lead role should still go to Sierra, right? Originally, you were negotiating it for her. See, this was the real reason Chloe was here. Sierra knew Director Vance's reputation and was desperate for this role. No problem, I said, but we need a contract. 50-50 split on the back end. Chloe's eyes went wide. That's impossible. Agencies usually take 30%. With Sierra's status, standard is 20%. And considering your history, I raised a hand to stop her. We aren't in a standard agency-artist relationship anymore, and don't bring up our history. For an external partnership, that's the industry standard commission for bringing a project. Is there a problem? If you can't make the call, go ask Sierra. She couldn't have everything. She found a nice new home for herself, but still wanted the lion's share of the profit for me. In the past, I tolerated everything because of love. Now, I had no feelings left for her. Sierra sent me a message. You really forgot. You are who you are today because of me. I smiled and didn't reply. The next day, Sierra officially announced she was joining Kingmaker Media. It was clear they had already cut a deal, yet she still tried to squeeze the maximum profit out of me. That was the extent of Sierra's cleverness. This sparked some discussion online. It was impossible to completely hide that Sierra and I had been an item, but the news cycle moved fast. My assistant ran in to tell me a stunning actress had come for an interview. I went out to look. It was Lily Harper. That day, when I messaged Lily asking for the price of the clothes, I expected her to politely refuse or drag it out. Instead, she sent me a screenshot of the receipt immediately. It was only a few $100s. She struck me as decisive and professional. No drama. Lily smiled slightly. I heard Mr. Stone is recruiting. What do you think of me? I raised an eyebrow. I'm not in the habit of poaching from other agencies. Lily had a contract. If she didn't, I would have contacted her already. My eye for scripts is sharp, but my eye for talent is just as good. Lily spoke softly, yet her brows held a fierce determination. She could play aloof, she could play intellectual, and her smile was sweet. Her range would be wide. Sierra thought her looks were superior, but Lily outshone her. Seeing me scrutinizing her, Lily held out a hand. $500,000. My buyout clause is $500,000. I can't afford it. Mr. Stone, you decide if I'm worth $500,000. If I am, help me break my contract. I thought for a moment, then asked my assistant to take Lily for some test shots. I needed to see how the camera loved her. Lily's lips curled up. She sounded delighted. Everyone says Caleb Stone is the best-looking agent in town, but I think you're even handsomer when you're working. I ignored the flattery. If we sign, that $500,000 comes out of your future earnings. She nodded, her smile bright as the moon. My mood improved. Breaking a news started to take luck, but someone with Lily's physical conditions was rare. She would be big, bigger than Sierra, and she'd go further. After signing her, I put Lily through acting classes, horseback riding, and archery. Then I gave her a scene to audition for. Lily looked hesitant. Director Vance's The Abyss is a huge production. The female lead is a massive role. Letting me carry that. Isn't that impossible? You're tall, and your personality is tough. Why can't you be a leading lady? She opened her mouth, but said nothing. I scanned her unconfident expression. Prepare well. This show is going to blow up. Hearing this, her face relaxed. If you say it'll blow up, then it definitely will. When I took Lily to audition for the role, we ran into Sierra? Not surprising. No star would pass up a production team like this. Sierra looked Lily up and down with disdain. You wouldn't let me play the lead, so I assumed you'd find someone with actual talent. But picking a nobody? That's hilarious, Sierra sneered. Oh, you guys are here to audition? I don't even need to audition. The producer already told me the lead role is pretty much mine. You're wasting your time. Sierra stared at me, searching for a trace of regret on my face. Instead, she met my look of total indifference. I'm willing to waste a trip. Our Lily wants to work with Director Vance. Since she wants it, I have to bring her. Hearing my familiar way of addressing Lily, Sierra's expression darkened. Sierra, if you already bagged the lead without an audition, why send Chloe to negotiate a partnership with me? Were you just trying to mess with me? Sierra was so angry she couldn't control her expression. Eventually, Chloe hurried her away, still puffing with rage. Lily pressed her lips together, trying not to laugh. Seeing my stern look, she quickly said, "She's just acting out for attention from you." After my coaching, Lily's audition went incredibly well. I saw the surprise in the producer and director's eyes. Lily had a distinct look. She just never had the opportunities at her old, small agency. On the way back, Sierra texted me. The producer just messaged me. The female lead in The Abyss is mine. Caleb, if you hadn't been so greedy, you could have earned 20% off this. It wasn't a surprise. When I negotiated with Director Vance before, it was for Sierra to play the lead. Her popularity was high. It made sense for the studio to lock her in. When I broke the news, Lily was confused. You knew she was the lead, so why did you make me audition for it? I held up my phone. The producer just messaged me too. You're booked as the second female lead. Now you know why the director asked you to read for the second lead scenes, right? You aren't famous enough yet. I intended for you to play the second lead all along. But you did so well with the lead scenes that Director Vance actually felt bad he couldn't cast you. Previously, I had discussed changing the script with Director Vance because the strong female lead archetype didn't quite fit Sierra. The second female lead was actually a more dynamic character. Now that Sierra and I were done, the script didn't need changing. Vance gave me the second lead role, a part with plenty of screen time that demanded real acting chops. It was a scene stealer. Meanwhile, Sierra, with her sweetheart style, tried to play a gritty, powerful heroine. Frankly, she couldn't carry it. It was obvious. Sierra was likely going to be acted off the screen by Lily. Once filming started, I stayed on set with Lily as much as possible, partly to help her dissect the role, and partly to protect her. A rookie landing such a major role tends to breed resentment. Inevitably, we ran into Sierra often. Seeing me personally attending to Lily, handling both business and personal needs, while she only had Chloe and another junior assistant, Sierra seemed miserable. She specifically posted on social media, publicly tagging Quentin Wells. "Quentin, come to the studio and keep me company." Quentin had a family, and he saw himself as a CEO, not a babysitter agent who ran errands. He showed up at the set, stayed for less than 2 hours, and left with an excuse. Sierra started smashing things in her trailer and picking fights with the crew. It got so bad that Director Vance's face turned black. When Sierra botched yet another take because she wasn't focused, Vance exploded. "If you can act, act. If you can't, get the hell out." Director Vance's temper was legendary. Lily had been yelled at too when she was off her game, but she always adjusted immediately and sincerely asked for another take. But Sierra's ego had ballooned over the last 2 years. She couldn't handle it. She threw a chair and threatened to strike, right there. The atmosphere was tense. Sierra looked at me with red-rimmed eyes. She was probably used to me cleaning up her messes, smoothing things over. But I just stood outside the crowd with my arms crossed, watching the show. In the end, Quentin had to fly back in, offering apologies and guarantees to calm Vance down. In contrast, Lily was praised by Vance time and again. He even said in front of everyone, "Lily Harper was born for this role." Lily graciously thanked him, then turned and whispered to me, "Luckily you're here, or I wouldn't have survived the scolding. Why are you so good to me?" "Because you're the asset the company needs to launch. Besides, being hands-on is my style. Don't go thinking I have other intentions." What I didn't say was that this style was developed because of Sierra. That's how I managed her back then, with total emotional investment. Of course, now I had no feelings for her whatsoever. Sierra had just heard Vance praising Lily, and when she turned around and saw us whispering, she threw a fit again, knocking the lunch Chloe bought her onto the ground. Lily was drawn to the noise. "Hey, the person you managed for years. Why is her temper so bad?" I shrugged. "Nothing to do with me." Because Lily looked so heroic riding a horse, the production released a 15-second teaser of her equestrian stunts. It immediately won her a wave of fans. Even fans who came to visit Sierra ended up becoming casual fans of Lily. One was rising, the other falling. The contrast was stark. I knew this happened in productions, but Sierra began showing open hostility toward Lily. She started sabotaging her during scenes, which set off alarm bells in my head. They had a fight scene on a raised platform. I don't know how, but when the choreography ended, they both fell off. Screams erupted on set. An experienced stunt coordinator yelled, "Call an ambulance." I pushed through the crowd and saw Sierra crumpled on the ground. Her face was twisted in pain. Seeing me rush forward with a panicked look, her eyes lit up, and she reached her hand out to me. But I rushed past her, straight to Lily. I crouched down, carefully holding Lily's hand, asking where she was hurt. Sierra's hand froze in midair. Chloe and the others quickly surrounded her. Out of the corner of my eye, I saw her staring at me. No matter what anyone asked her, she wouldn't speak. Because the studio lot was remote, both were sent to the same hospital. "I'm fine, really. Just a scrape. It's not serious," Lily said, trying to comfort me as I looked grim. "Don't brush it off. Let the doctor check first." Lily rested her arm on my shoulder, obediently letting me guide her to get treated. Nearby, Sierra was clearly hurt worse. At first, she pressed her lips together in silence. Then she started screaming at Chloe. "Get out. Get the hell out." When I went to the pharmacy for Lily, I ran into a teary-eyed Chloe. "Caleb." I nodded. "What happened?" Sierra lost it again. "You heard her. She cursed me out." Sierra got angry because she saw you being good to Lily. The last few tantrums were all because of that. I was speechless. I was treating my own artist well. What business was that of Sierra's? Back in the room, finding it empty, I asked Lily, "How did you guys fall off the platform?" "We finished the last move, and we're supposed to separate." I don't know why, but she slammed into me. I tried to dodge, but I still fell with her. She crashed into me on purpose. I nodded. Understood. Sierra had hit her with force and fell hard, spraining her ankle badly. Lily really had just escaped with scrapes. Soon, the news of their injuries hit the trending topics. A video of them being wheeled into the hospital circulated online. A massive number of netizens started controlling the narrative. There's definitely an inside story to Sierra's injury. The biggest inside story is how a D-list actress like Lily Harper got the second lead in a Director Vance movie. Sierra is hurt badly. It's obvious she was beaten into the hospital by that Nepo baby Lily. Suddenly, the comments were aimed squarely at Lily. Lily was exasperated. I immediately contacted the PR firm to execute our crisis plan. First, a nurse from the hospital posted that both were admitted for falls. Then, a leaked video from the set showing Sierra lunging at Lily hit the internet. Before Sierra's side could react, crew members started leaking stories about Sierra's tantrums, smashing props, and abusing staff. The problem was, it wasn't just one person. Diva Sierra skyrocketed to the top of the trending list. Even the old stories about her attacking fans and her nasty attitude resurfaced. Sierra's team chose the silent treatment. Are they just waiting for it to blow over? Lily asked me doubtfully. I shook my head. Soon, Sierra and Jax Ryder's new drama premiered. They chose to use the scandal to generate heat for the show. But the show was so bad it defied description. From the costumes to the acting, netizens ripped it to shreds. I had told Sierra not to take this role. She refused to listen. I wonder what she was thinking now. Taking this role was one of the first steps she took away from me. Mutual friends told me, Sierra didn't want you managing her. She wouldn't listen. Now, she's finally eating bitterness. This was just the beginning. With the show flopping this hard, the difficulty of Sierra getting quality scripts in the future would increase drastically. Lily looked at me seriously. I'm different from her. I will absolutely listen to you. Ich glänzte her. She lowered her eyes. I like listening to you. Doesn't matter. If an artist doesn't listen, I'll just find another one. After Sierra, I wasn't going to mix feelings with business again. Sierra panicked. To stabilize her falling star power, she actually announced she was dating Jax Ryder. Rumor had it she didn't even discuss it with Quentin. The romance announcement did generate massive traffic. It kicked off a frenzy, with fans all over the internet eating it up and celebrating the couple. However, Jax Ryder's side remained silent. It was a unique situation in the industry, a unilateral relationship announcement. After 3 days of awkward silence, Sierra faced a vicious teardown by Jax's non-celebrity girlfriend. It turned out Jax had been playing games with Sierra while discussing marriage with his real girlfriend. Not only did the sweet romance never exist, but Sierra was painted as the other woman, interfering in a relationship. The girlfriend posted a scathing expose, and public opinion swung heavily toward the victim, the girlfriend. The farce dragged on until Jax announced he was temporarily stepping back from the entertainment industry, leaving Sierra stranded in the crossfire. Late one night, I received a call from Sierra. She was crying, shouting into the phone, Caleb, today is my birthday. I waited from morning until now, and you haven't wished me a happy birthday. You told me you would spend every birthday with me. Every single year. You can't miss one. During the day, press releases claimed Sierra and Jax had privately agreed to break up, but the comment sections were full of mockery. I hung up the phone and blocked her. She had also said she would love me forever. The Abyss premiered, and, just as I predicted, it was an instant hit. Originally, Sierra was the lead. She should have benefited the most, potentially reversing her declining popularity. Unfortunately, Lily's character was more likable. She wasn't a traditional villainous second lead, but a heroic, rebellious, and fiercely loyal character. In Lily's hands, she felt more like the main character than the lead. Consequently, the attention on Lily skyrocketed, surpassing Sierra before the show was even halfway through. Lily's follower count easily broke 10 million. She was an overnight sensation. She was hailed as a treasure actress, praised for both her visuals and her acting. In contrast, most comments about Sierra said she couldn't carry a serious role and that her action scenes paled in comparison to Lily's. Not only did she fail to make a comeback, but she also became a foil for Lily's success. When the show held its grand fan meeting, Sierra didn't want to go, afraid it would turn into the Lily Harper show. But she showed up late anyway. Sierra, regarding your time with Jax Ryder, did you really not know he had a girlfriend? Is it true you had intense arguments with director Vance during filming? Sources say you and Lily were injured because you pushed her. Was it an accident or intentional? The moment she appeared, reporters bombarded her with sharp questions. Sierra's face darkened. Her assistants had to physically shove reporters aside to rescue her. The press then swarmed Lily, who was the woman of the hour. Lily, we heard you've been in talks with the production team for Winter's Edge. Can you give us an update? Lily responded gracefully, Yes, I will be participating in Winter's Edge. Please wait for the official announcement. Sierra, who was rushing away, turned back in shock upon hearing this. Winter's Edge was a massive blockbuster production. Countless actresses were fighting for a role. I had taken Lily to meet the producer early on, and her audition was stellar. With the explosion of the Abyss, Lily finally secured the invite. After filming Winter's Edge, Lily's status would be completely transformed. How could Sierra not be envious? That night, when I got home, I found a car parked in front of my driveway. It looked familiar. Sierra got out. Her hair was down, and she wore no makeup, giving her a fragile, vulnerable look. "Can we talk?" She looked at me pitifully, a stark contrast to her arrogant self from months ago. I nodded, and she moved to get into my car, but I didn't move. "Say what you need to say here. You must have seen the news. Kingmaker only gave me that one luxury brand, and now the brand is preparing to drop me." I had seen the news. The brand stated Sierra wasn't bringing enough value and had signed another trending actress. Tears welled in Sierra's eyes. "You must be laughing at me in your heart. I'm doing worse and worse. Partners are canceling contracts, and every role I try for gets stolen." She was showing weakness, but I felt nothing. At most, I laugh inwardly. "You laughed at me to my face. I got lucky finding you. If not for you, I'd be rotting on an assembly line." Hearing her own words thrown back at her, Sierra's head snapped up. She froze for a moment, then shook her head with a bitter smile. "Do you know why I threw tantrums on the set of The Abyss? Do you know why I announced I was dating Jax on my own? It's because I realized I still care about you. You're still in my heart. I couldn't stand seeing you be so good to that Lily girl. I still love you, Caleb. Let's go back to how we were. You be my manager, and I'll be your artist and your girlfriend, okay?" Tears streamed from her big eyes, looking tragic and fragile. If this were the past, seeing her cry would have made me angry at myself for letting her hurt. Now, I only found it ironic. She was using her best acting on me. "Sierra, if you were riding high right now and I couldn't launch any new talent, would you be here telling me this? You approached Kingmaker yourself because you thought I couldn't get you better resources or high-end endorsements. You suggested we just be friends. You invited me to watch you flirt with another man on his birthday. You did all of that. Since you made those choices, why come back to eat humble pie?" Sierra's eyes widened, and she got emotional. "I didn't reach out to Kingmaker first. I didn't really want to break up. I cut her off. Sierra, lie to yourself if you want, but don't bother lying to me." Her face went pale, and she swayed slightly. Seeing I was unmoved, she tried to grab my hand, but I dodged. "There's a misunderstanding between us. Please listen to me. We were so good together. We lived in that basement. I brought home boxed lunches from the set to share with you to save money. Did you forget?" She rambled on through her tears. "She used to be good. But later came the cold violence, the verbal abuse, the ignored calls. I had no expectations left for her. Sierra, we're done. Let's both move on." I walked past her. She cried out desperately, "Give me one more chance, please." I ignored her and opened my front door. There was no point in tangling with her. She came to me because she realized I could pick scripts. If she shot 2 good dramas with me, she could return to the top, and the scandals would blow over. Did she really regret it? Did she really love me? Maybe she did, maybe she didn't. It didn't matter anymore. That night, Sierra's car stayed outside for a long time. Eventually, she left. I found out about Sierra's tax evasion scandal while I was at an awards gala. Lily had won the award for Best Breakthrough Performance for her role in Winter's Edge. It was a heavyweight award. Her future was blindingly bright. When I saw the news notification about Sierra, I knew her career was completely over. Perhaps because she was on a downward spiral, she had gotten stingy with money and took risks she shouldn't have. On stage, Lily was radiant. Her look was high fashion. Luxury brands were already contacting the agency. I had hired a professional commercial team to handle that side of things. Based on my experience with Sierra, I knew I lacked some skills in the commercial sector. Lily raised her trophy, thanking the director and the team. But most of all, I want to thank one person. He makes me feel incredibly lucky. He brings me so many surprises. He is truly a gold standard agent. He is really, really, really important to me. She used really 3 times, causing a buzz of whispers in the audience. I smiled, feeling that I lived up to the title. Besides Lily, I had selected several new talents, both men and women. Under my guidance, 2 of them had already booked lead roles. When I stepped out, I got a call from Chloe. But when I answered, it was Sierra. "Caleb, I have nothing left. I only have you." The former superstar pleaded pitifully. "Please, think about our past. For the sake of the hardships we went through together, let me come back to your side, please." I answered ruthlessly. "We ended a long time ago, Sierra. Even if you're out of the industry, you still have some money saved. If you manage it well, it's enough for the rest of your life. Maybe you can start a new, meaningful life. Let's go our separate ways." I hung up. I didn't feel happy, just a bit hollow. All told, from Sierra's peak to this moment, it had been less than 2 years. I didn't notice Lily walking up to me. "I saw the news about Sierra. Don't blame yourself. It has nothing to do with you." I smiled. Of course I won't blame myself. I didn't make her break the law, and I won't take the fall for someone else's mistakes. Lily let out a breath. That's good. For the last 2 years, I was always afraid you guys might get back together. I didn't know what she was imagining. After a moment, Lily asked, since there's no chance for you two, won't you consider me? What? I was stunned. She gave me a dissatisfied look, implying I was playing dumb. You're red hot right now. This isn't the time to think about dating. You're usually so level-headed. How can you think like this? Anyway, I'm not considering relationships right now, I said seriously. It's precisely because I'm level-headed that I won't give up on love for my career, Lily countered. Fine, you are considering it now. But when will you consider it? We're adults, let's speak plainly. Facing Lily's burning gaze, I turned my face away. Actually, I could sense Lily's feelings for me. Perhaps Sierra had stripped me of the courage to dive blindly into love like I did back then. In that regard, I really wasn't as free-spirited as Lily. I lifted the corner of my mouth. Wait until you win Best Actress. Story complete.